So as you can see, I'm in a little bit of a different location than where I normally record my intro little snippets, I guess what you can call them. That is because I was living in Chicago and now I'm back at home with my parents. And there's not a lot of good filming spots, so we're on the stairs. But yeah, so I don't know if this is where I'm going to be normally shooting, but that's just where I found for today. Today we're actually going to be making kind of a pencil holder container thing. It's like under the sea themed. It has coral and other like algae and stuff. We will be using polymer clay, and it's really simple and easy. Enjoy.
To start off, you're going to need a metal bin or bucket. This one I got for 25 cents. Well, technically I got for free because my grandma gave it to me. But you should be able to find something like this at your local dollar store or thrift store. Now you want to make sure that it's metal or ceramic so you can put it in the oven and bake it. I am also using a tool that I bought from Michael's. I think this cost roughly $12, maybe more like $10. Something around that price range, but you should also be able to find it at any of your local craft stores. So I'm going to go ahead and take a teal color of Sculpey and soften it and then roll it into small little balls. I do a couple different size balls just so we have some variety. You want to make sure that it's stuck down nice and good. You don't want that to fall off later. If it does fall off, you can always glue it back on, but ideally you want it to just be able to stick to the metal itself. Now I'm kind of doing it in a pattern around the rim and then kind of going off near that rigid area of the pail. You want to make this look kind of random, like these sea creatures have grown onto this pail rather than it being in a specific order. Once you're happy with your amount of barnacles, go ahead and add the little holes, and I'm using my pointy tool for this. You just kind of carve out the middle, and you might have to press down the barnacles again just to make sure they are secured to the pail. And do this until all the barnacles have little holes. Now they will get stretched out or kind of flattened out against each other. That is totally okay. And honestly, that's more realistic to how barnacles actually look. So this pail was kind of annoying to work with, to be honest, at least when it came to filming, because every time I tried to work on it, it would start rolling and it would just look bad. So later on in the video, I figured out if I stuck a blue piece of clay, well, it doesn't matter what color it is, but the clay I ended up using was blue, that it would sit still. But I didn't figure that out until much later. So, like, I'm using a paintbrush to steady it. Anywho, we are going to be using this black piece of clay that hangs off into the inside of the pail, kind of as a base for the rest of the barnacles and things. The other clay will stick much better to the clay itself versus the metal pail. That way you can avoid having to glue a lot of things back on if for some reason they break or whatnot. So I'm currently in the process of making kind of this fuzzy-like moss. Originally, I mixed blue and black together. It didn't end up having the look that I wanted, so I tore it back off and just put normal black there. And then I added layers of blue on top of it, which gave me kind of the layered look that I wanted. So you place a little piece of blue like I did, and then you kind of scratch it in a direction, I guess, from the middle to the outside to kind of get that fuzzy, fluffy look. Feel free to make this patch as big as you like, because you can always cover it up with other barnacles and sea coral and things later. So I decided to add 1 or 2 more barnacles, so it looked like, I can't speak, it's fine. So it looks like the barnacles are kind of growing on top of the moss to kind of unify them more. Okay, so now we're making some pink coral. So essentially what you do, I decided to use shades of pink and red. If you have ever made a clay snake, what you're going to do is first soften the clay and then roll it into a snake-like shape. And then you can choose however long you would like it to be. Feel free to give it some little wavy points and just stick it on. And I would layer it with the different colors, so I'm kind of alternating with this darker pink, lighter pink, and red. You know, this coral kind of reminds me of a sea anemone. You know, the thing that Nemo can't say is anemone or something like that. Though my personal favorite quote is, "I'm H2O intolerant. I'm obnoxious." My friends think I quote that way too much, and I probably do. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, also, I've come to realize with recording my voice for these tutorials how much I say certain words. For example, I say it so much. Like, gonna, I don't know, there's definitely some other ones, but if you ever record your voice, you will definitely pick up on a lot of vocal tics and just patterns that you have when you speak. It's the weirdest thing. Make sure you are firmly pressing the coral down. You don't want it to fall off before it even has been baked, because that would suck. Okay, Brianna, what are we doing next? It looks like the pail's just sitting here. Are we gonna add anything else? Are we gonna add anything else? Oh, here we go. Okay, so next we're gonna add some little yellow barnacles. Actually, I'm not even sure if they're little barnacles. I don't really know what I would classify these little dots. Little under the ocean dots. Yep, that's an official term. That's an official thing. It's fine. I believe I'm adding purple? No, that's not until later. Oh, they are barnacles. See, I'm giving them little holes. Oh, now I'm officially adding the purple sea dots. So these are also small little balls. I'm using different shades of purple and pink, and I'm just putting them all over in slightly smaller and bigger sizes. I'm kind of having it be attached to those yellow barnacles, and then I'm going to expand out.
Would you look at all them sea dots? There be a lot of them.
Okay, so now we're gonna add what I would classify as lava rocks. So essentially these are gonna be big black rocks with kind of medium-sized holes. First, I started out by using my tool to make the little holes, and that really just didn't work. As you'll see in a few seconds, I actually end up switching to the end of a paintbrush, which gave me a lot bigger holes that were a lot more accurate looking. Next, you're going to take some yellow clay, I'd say about the size of a Cheerio, and you're going to roll that into a ball, and then you're going to switch out your tool to the rounded head, and essentially you're going to make this giant shell type barnacle, and you're going to do it in a set of 3, like so. So when I originally made that, you could kind of see the back metal, and I didn't really want that to be seen, so I took another small little ball of yellow clay and just pressed it inside. So now I'm going to add in some blue coral, much like the red coral, except this is gonna be kind of sticking out more and you're not gonna see as much of the coral. It's more gonna be like the spikes that you see. And once again, I'm using different shades of blue and some greens. So I'm using that teal color that I used for the barnacles earlier, and then intermixing it with some other blue colors. And once again, you're going to want to layer this quite a bit. Next, I tested out doing a shell shape, and then I wasn't fully satisfied and added little dots, and then I absolutely hated how that looked, so I ended up taking it off and kind of starting over. So instead, I rolled it into some snakes and just placed it along the yellow barnacles, and then I added the dots, and I liked how that looked a lot better. Then I added a couple of more little ocean dots. I don't remember what I called them the first time, but little circles that kind of match the colors of the other ones, which I believe they're just purple, pink, and light purple. And I just kind of intermixed them within the different barnacles and sea creatures, plants. For the weird purple-like structure, I don't know what to call it. A lot of this was kind of abstract sea creatures. I decided I would go in with my pinpoint tool and add little tiny dots. The other dots I had made using a paintbrush, and I just thought that this gave it a more elaborate look. I wanted to tie in the black color a little bit more, so I added a few of the little ocean dots in the black color, alternating with the dark purple. Next, you're going to take some lime green clay, since our little aquatic pail is missing green, and you're going to roll it out into a snake shape and then flatten it and fold it in a similar manner to how you would fold a paper fan. And then I just placed it directly under the sea dots and the purple coral thing. I wanted to tie in a little bit more red and pink, so I added a couple little red sea dots intermixed with some pinks and some purples to tie in the other sea dots, of course. Next, you're going to take 2 shades of purple, a light and a dark, and a shade of yellow, and roll all 3 colors out into snakes. Make sure they're all the same length. And then you're going to twist them and roll those colors together. Kind of like how a lollipop looks. And this is going to be a seashell-like object that we're going to put on the pail. gonna add in a few more little sea dots. So tying in those purple and yellow colors. And then we're gonna finish it off with some dark purples and pink sea dots. Next, to give it a little bit of shading and just some sparkle and pizzazz, I took some shiny, sparkly, golden eyeshadow and just kind of sprinkled it on top of these wet clay. So don't bake it. Do this before you bake it. I kind of just did similar shades to the clay. So I took a red-orange color and put it on the red coral. For the ones that I really wanted to be textured and stand out, I used mostly gold. It's kind of up to you. You can get really cheap eyeshadow from the dollar store. I was using my nice eyeshadow. Don't know why, but I just did. And this is what the final product looks like after you bake it in the oven at 225 for about 15 minutes.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Get crafting. Give me a like, a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. This is Brianna signing off.